Hello, viewers. Today we shall be analyzing the demography of Nigeria from the year 1960 to the year 2020. Nigeria, my beloved country, a creation of the British Empire. Did I just say Nigeria was created? Oh yes, you heard me right. On the 1st of January 1900, the British Empire created the Southern Nigerian Protectorate and the Northern Nigerian Protectorate. Then in 1914, they amalgamated both the Northern Nigerian Protectorate and the Southern Nigerian Protectorate into what is now known as Nigeria. The name Nigeria was coined from the popular river called River Niger, the name Niger area. In 1960, the country gained her independence and became officially known as the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The country is located on the western coast of Africa, that is in West Africa. It is situated between the Sahel to the north and the Gulf of Guinea to the south in the Atlantic Ocean. It shares land borders with the Republic of Benin to the west, Chad and Cameroon to the west, to the east, and Niger, Republic of Niger to the north. It covers an area of 923,769 square kilometers. It currently has a population of over 200 million. Now let's talk about the census in Nigeria. So far, almost every census figure in Nigeria has always generated controversy. But in all the cases, those who contest the figures have not been able to provide alternative data. The 1962 population census, which is the first census Nigeria conducted as an independent nation, was simultaneously held across the nation. The census was highly politicized. All the regional government at that time rejected the result. This led to a rerun in 1963, which was still contested at the Supreme Court, where the court declined jurisdiction over administrative functions of government. The census of 1973 was also not gazetted for reasons of falsifications of figures for political and ethnic advantages. The 1991 census employed the principles of simultaneity. It was scientifically conducted, accepted, and gazetted. The first population and housing census was held in 2006. It employed the use of GPS and satellite imagery to mark out geo-reference enumeration areas. Let's now look at some analysis. So here we can see that the population of Nigeria as at 2006 was put at 140 million. By 2019, it had grown to over 200 million, that is 201 million, an increase of 60.70 million, and that is 43.23% increase between 2006 and 2019. Now, if we look at the composition of the gender population, we will see that from 1960 up until the year 1996, the population has, for both the male and female, has continued to ascend. It has increased continually. And that here we can see two lines. The green, the green represents the male population, and the white represents the female population. We can see that the male population has always been higher than that of the female population, slightly. Again, here we can see the sum of the total estimated population year by year. It was a little over 40 million in 1960, and by 1996, it has grown to about one to over 112 million. Here we can see the difference between the birth rate and the death rates per year. And the here it is, sorry, the green line represents the birth rate, while the white line represents the death rate per year. And we can see from 1960 up until 1996, the birth rate has always been higher than the death rate. So this, of course, will always lead to increase in population. Let's quickly look at the top 5 states that have had the highest population increase between the year 2006 to 2019. So these are the top 5 states, and we can see that 4 of them are in the north. The 5 states are Bauchi State, Jigawa State, Kano State, Katsina State, and Lagos States. These states have had the highest population increase between the year 2006 to 2019. Here we can see the state with the highest number of births per year. Again here, Bauchi leads with 2,270,000 births per year, and Kano is the 5th with 2,072,000 births per year. Now let's look at this. Let's compare the sum of population for the top 5 states. That is the states that have the highest population. Let us look at their numbers as at 2006 versus 2019. So the leading state is Kano State. As at here, we can see the map of Kano State has appeared on our screen, and we can see that as at 2006, Kano State had a population of 9 million, and by 2019, it had grown to 14 million. Is closely followed by Lagos. Lagos State had a population. Here's the map of Lagos State in green. You can see Ikorodu, Igondo, and so. Now, as at 2006, Lagos State had a population of 9 million, and by 2019, it has grown to 13 million. Let's quickly move to Katsina State. Here is Katsina State had a population of 6 million as at 2006, and 9 million as at 2019. Then followed by Kaduna State. Kaduna had 6 million in 2006, 8 million in 2019. And Oyo State in the southwest had a population of 6 million as at 2006 and 8 million in 2019. So I would now like to call on my colleague with whom we did this analysis together. We did both the research and analysis together. His name is Daniel. Daniel is a statistician with many years of experience and has worked in various states in Nigeria. He has a lot of experience.
Right.
Okay, welcome, Daniel. So, quick one. When I look at this population graph, and I can see that it has continued to ascend over the years. For me as a salesperson, sorry, for me as a salesperson, that's someone who has worked in a sales team, what comes to my mind is revenue. Like I wish this was a revenue graph. I'm sure if it were to be like a revenue graph, the sales manager for that particular business will be throwing parties. In fact, right now I can imagine one of my former COOs. He will just be throwing parties every Friday. But this is not a revenue graph. This graph is about population. So can you tell us the significance, what it means for Nigeria?
Oh, thanks for having me, David. Thanks for having me. Actually, I loved your we like call it okay, your illustration about the sales things and the revenue. Actually, the manager will just be throwing party, and I will definitely turn up for the party if I'm his friend. So thanks for having me. Actually, so this dashboard actually entails the Nigerian's demographical structure. Yeah, from 1960 to 2020. Actually, we tend to minimize some features. Yeah, some features are not like placed in the dashboard because talking about the demographical structure of Nigeria is going to entail a lot of stuff. So it's going to entail a lot of stuff, a lot of breakdown, bringing it to the barest minimum, yeah, to the endpoint users. So now I'm going to like briefly talk about the ascending in the population of Nigeria from 1960 cross to 2000. Yeah, that's 2000. So I think you can see my screen. Looking at, I'll be briefly talking about this middle graph. Can you see my, I think you can see my right?
Yes, I can.
So now this shows the total estimated population by year. Yeah, from 1960 to 2000 and to 2000 to 2000. You will notice that this is an upward trend, but this upward trend is not actually a straight line chart or a straight line trend to say. So this is like forming an exponential shape, but it does not really like exhibit a full exponential pattern. So this means like the population of Nigeria keeps increasing every year, If this chart like represents the percentage change, like we want to calculate change year by year, we're going to see to what effect is one change from a year to another. So this actually shows that Nigerian population significantly increased. Yeah, it's significantly increased, and this can be amounted to some factors. Actually, because there are some factors that are related to increase in population and even decrease in population. Which one of them is high birth rate and low death rate? So looking at okay, let me just look at this 1960. We're going to notice that at this point, the population was very low. I think in my own sense, okay, in my own statistical sense, and what theories, previous theories as propounded, what I can say to this regarding birth and death rate. So in this 1960, cross to this, let me just say to this 1970, right? We might have a very high birth rate and death rate. You know, once we have like a very high birth rate and having high death rate, the population won't still have any significant change. Like it's going to increase minorly, compared to this extreme side of 2000, 1998, 1997, like that. So having a very high birth rate and a very high death rate can be very, very wrong. It's just like having 2 naira and owing someone 2 naira. So you are like left with 0 naira. Actually, if you get me right. So this can play out, and it can be as a result of low birth rate and high death rate. Yeah, it's just as if I'm owing you 4 naira and I'm having 2 naira. So the more income, if you are owing a huge amount of money, the more income you receive, the more debit you pay. That's just the more income you have, the more debit you have. So those things might have played out. Another factor that might played out in recent years, science and technology. Thanks God for science and technology. Actually, science and technology, because now there are some diseases that can easily, like malaria. When you check the statistics of malaria, the rate at which malaria portfolio, if I'm right, is it portfolio? I think. No, sorry, it is folio. Sorry, not portfolio. Sorry, I'm very sorry for that. Portfolio, as a data person, portfolio has entered my head, so I'm very sorry for that. So, like the way diseases like tends to kill in the days of the old has reduced significantly due to science, innovation of drugs, quick access to medical facility. Like if you check the rate at which malaria killed in the days, like in the olden days, is like low compared to this time, because now we have easy cure for malaria, and even now I can even see some vaccines for malaria are available, but it's not actually common, but it's very, very much available. So science and technology has make the rate at which death on call has reduced it to the barest minimum. Like we want to they have reduced it. Like when you are pulling a car with a rope, like they drag it to at least to a very certain level that we hope in the nearest future, like there will be some theories again that is going to like bring it down to origin zero. I hope so. That even if any death will be on call, it will be natural. We will not say it's due to malaria, due to hepatitis, due to stuff. Science and technology has really played a role in that aspect. And when you look at the migration status actually might affect the population actually. The migration status might affect the population. Do you know in recent years, like Japa is very, very rampant. But due to that, due to high Japa rates, the population is still like increasing. I've never seen a population chart of Nigeria, like Nigerian the population chart dropped. I've never. So I think so it might be linked to probably the emigration. So like we have it might be linked to migration status. Actually, we have the immigration and emigration. So those coming in the country might be like tends to be more higher than those leaving the country. So that's too might affect the population. Actually, there are other factors that might be showing that might be sponsoring the influence of rapid increase in the Nigerian population that I might not capture this short briefing. Actually, there are a lot. So it is when we start breaking. Now, if you're interested in this, we start breaking this into patterns to unfold patterns and discover new things that might happen. We might like facet the graph with migration status, faceting the graph with death and birth, faceting the graph with like a lot of stuff. So then from them we can know actually what contributed to the rapid increase in Nigerian population. But I think in my own sense, birth and death contribute significantly to the rapid growth of Nigerian population.
Yes, I agree with you on that. If you look at the graph to the right of this one that you have circled, you see the difference between the death rate and the birth rate, just as you have mentioned. And I think you've really captured it well. You can see the green line is the birth rate.
This right.
And the white line is the death rate. So you can see that right from 1960 up until 2000, the birth rate has always been higher than the death rate. So just as you have mentioned, you have rightly mentioned, it's correct. So thank you very much. Let's move on to our next question. So what will you advise? Because we so far over the years, census in Nigeria has always generated controversies. There have always been people questioning the data, that the numbers are not accurate, and so on. What will you advise the government to do during the next census to make sure that we get accurate data, that the numbers are correct and tell a true story of the Nigerian population?
Oh, thank you very much, David. Thank you very much, David. I like the question, the fact that you said most people question the leader about the population, like the censor of a thing and all this stuff, the population of a thing. Actually, it is those that does not have this analytical sense and statistical sense that will tend to to question the leader. It is right to question the leader about that. Something about counting, something about a population to say. Due to the data structure of Nigeria, like collecting data or about a certain population should not just start now. Yeah, I know population started since inception, but the mode at which we collect the data, has it been accurate from the past? I don't know if you get it. Now,
I
if
agree.
we have been
The thing is, it has always, sorry to cut you. Sorry, our time is almost spent. That's why I'm so sorry to cut you. In a nutshell, what I'm saying is this data that we have right from 1960 up until now, a lot of people have been questioning it, maybe for some, maybe for political reasons, some have their other reasons or other motives. But what will you advise this government to do to make sure that it is as clear as kind of free and fair, and then this data that majority of Nigerians are going to trust and believe that these numbers are correct?
So
maybe
what I'm going to advise, what I'm going to advise the country is, the government actually is like they should just employ the competent ends like that can actually ensure the proper collection and counting of individuals in the country. That's one. And two, I will advise the stakeholders to look critically at least if we cannot get an accurate, something about statistics is that you might not get the accurate, but at least it should be near the actual value. Like your own estimate should near the actual value. So that's why we have this confidence bound. We have the lower and the upper confidence bound. So the population should not be like really deviated. The difference between the actual value and the probably calculated or counted value should not be should not be huge. So once you have competent ends and the censor procedure are kept, yeah, I believe we should eat the nail on the head. Yeah, by having an accurate, if not even accurate, near accuracy. Yeah, near accuracy.
All right. Thank you very much for your contribution. I believe by competent hands, you mean people who are professionals in terms of statisticians, data analysts, and the likes of them. Am I right?
Yes, data collector, like data collector.
Yeah, they should.
Like so. Right. And those that will do the logistical distribution actually should step up their game, because there are some. Let's just cite an example in the northern area of Nigeria now, where we have a crisis. Like they should be more tactical in their logistics, because someone as a data collector needs his life to collect data.
Yes.
So going to that kind of area is very challenging. So providing security, like secure all material they needed, including security, securing their life and all this stuff, is very, very essential to the government, to the government, and to the censor, to the event we are currently observing, which is censor. So I think that should solve the whole population process and all this stuff.
All right. Thank you very much, Daniel. It appears we are running out of time. Thank you so much for your contribution. We'll be happy to have you some other time. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, David. I really appreciate your I really appreciate you for bringing me to the podium. Like I have acquired to come and share it with folks over here. So thank you very much, and I look forward to your invitation some other time, some other day.
All right. Thank you.